Welcome back to another all sports and nothing but sports episode of 5 Minutes at the Frat House with Frat House Mike and Sidekick. How you doing tonight, Sidekick? Huh?
Good.
Hey, what's going on? I thought for sure you'd come in, you're all decked out in your Cardinals garb. What's this all about? No Cardinals garb?
Yeah.
You got a big game tonight, dude.
I know. That's the problem with working in corporate America.
Okay, corporate America.
Especially when you're not in St. Louis.
I mean, I understand why you're not wearing the Rams, but I mean Cardinals, I would have thought for sure.
Well.
Okay, now look, before we go take a look at baseball and football and get into all that fun stuff, let's go take a look at how NASCAR is going. We're now halfway through the chase.
Yep.
Race 5 was this past Saturday night down at Charlotte, and wow, Clint Boyer certainly helped his cause out, working his way up the board by taking the checkered and substantially moved himself up, as we're going to see in a moment.
Yep.
Now, others who came in the top 5 are all chase drivers and one who thinks he should be. Denny Hamlin came in second. Jimmy Johnson got into the top 5 again, and he came in third. Greg Biffle, we haven't called his number in quite a few weeks. He came in fourth, and Chase wannabe driver Kyle Busch came in fifth. And so how did our color-coded leaderboard change this week? Well, the top 3 drivers are still the same. Brad Keselowski stays in there at the number 1 spot,
yep.
But now he's just 7 points, just 7
yep.
ahead of Jimmy Johnson, and only 15 points ahead of Denny Hamlin. But now you got to throw Clint Boyer into the mix, and he's just 28 points out of the first place.
Yep.
So that kind of leads me to a question, Sidekick. It seems to me over the past couple of weeks, Jimmy Johnson, we have brought his name up frequently as a top 5 driver. Mm-hmm. And so my question is, could Jimmy Johnson just continue through the chase, just getting top 5s, get the championship without ever winning a chase race? Is that possible?
Yeah, I believe so. A lot of it depends on what the rest of the pack around him does.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they're getting wins or, is it mixed up, where, you got, Harvick getting a win, even though he doesn't even have a top 10.
Right.
Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, Truex, but, if Keselowski keeps rattling off top 10s.
Right. Of course, Keselowski, but Keselowski's got 2 wins. And
right.
my point is that Johnson has absolutely 0 wins, but we're consistently, it seeming, bringing his name up in the top 5.
But he's coming in, when Keselowski's winning, he's coming in within the top 5.
Absolutely.
Like second or third.
Right.
And there's not that large of a gap in points.
Right.
So
it's conceivable that we could see Johnson win a championship.
Without,
Yeah. All right, so let's see how things go this coming Sunday as we go for our second time over to the Kansas Speedway. It's a 1.5 mile track oval. Still it has a young history to it.
Yep.
It'll be covered on ESPN on Sunday at 1 o'clock. And so how does Kansas affect our fantasy strategies as we go forward? I mean, there are some of us that are still thinking that, well, maybe we might win a segment. Maybe we might win it all. I'm not one of those. But how about that?
Well, actually, before we get into the fantasy stuff, you're talking about Kansas's age.
Yeah.
And actually, Kansas is now almost a new track for this race, because after the last race, they've gone and they repaved it.
Correct.
They've changed it. It was flat banking before. It now has gradual 20-degree banking on the corners. So it's almost a new track. Plus, it's been repaved.
This is different from even the first time we saw it this season.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So this is kind of
new territory.
Yeah. It's Kansas. It's cookie cutter, but it's not the same. It's not the same Kansas that we raced earlier in the season.
Right. We're not in Kansas anymore.
Right. Exactly.
Gotcha. All right.
So now you stole my joke.
Go ahead. What we got for strategy?
It's what we're going to have to look at here is you look a little bit at the history of how the drivers have done in Kansas,
right? How
they're doing this season and stuff like that. But you're kind of guesstimating because the track's changed now. So some of the drivers we want to look at this weekend is someone who we haven't talked about a whole lot this season as far as fantasy is Carl Edwards. He's got 6 consecutive top 10 finishes at Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Biffle, 2 victories. and he's gotten nothing but top 10 since 2007 at Kansas. Jimmy Johnson also, 2 victories over his last 7 races, and his worst finish over that time span has been 9th.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we're going to look at Kyle Busch. We're going to talk about, because his average finish on cookie cutter tracks over the past 3 years has been 11th.
Right.
So he, and he's down a little bit on the money because he's a wannabe chase driver.
He's a wannabe.
And the bargain special for the week, Reagan Smith.
All righty, Reagan Smith.
Yep.
I like the Biffle choice, sir. I think I might have to take a look at that one for my own. Listen, before we jump off of NASCAR, let's go take a look at our most viewed Frat House Facebook post of the week. And that came on Saturday when I asked you, Sidekick. I asked it right on our Frat House page. I asked you the question that, and we reported it here last week, that Dale Jr. Was going to miss last week, and he's missing again this week. And I asked the question, anything that happens this evening in the number 88 Dale Earnhardt car will not aid his cause in the chase. Is that correct? And, of course, that got some responses, and it was the most viewed post this week. And that was confirmed. In fact, what I thought was confirmed. I do have a real quick question, though, on that. His numbers actually did go up in the standings. Now, how and why did that happen from last week? Any idea on that?
That's a good question, because I was going to say, because of Junior not racing, Kenseth has now moved up.
Right.
He's now not 12th in the basement.
I mean, his numbers
11th.
didn't go up substantially, but they did go up by, I believe, about 12 points from last week.
That's a good question. I actually don't know.
I have to take a look at that one. All right. I got those numbers. I can show you the numbers. All right. Major League Baseball. Let's go take a look at what's going on over there. And boy, oh boy, that is winding down. And for some teams, it's winding down fast. So let's see where things stand right now at the moment with our league championship series. And we'll start it off with the ALCS. And when I say fast, I mean fast. Not within the past probably 20 minutes. The Detroit Tigers have swept the New York Yankees 4 games.
I give you our champion!
Now, that might be a bit premature, so we might want to hold off on that one. But
we can sing the na-na-na-na, na-na-na. Bye-bye, Yankees.
Yeah, I hear you. The ALCS is the worst possible time of the year to have a meltdown in both the series playoffs and in personnel. And in fact, I don't know how else to describe what happened to the Yankees, except it was just a complete meltdown. When you take a look at it, the Yankees going into today's rescheduled game, they were down 3-0. They had lost both of the first 2 games, game 1 and 2, to the Tigers in their own home ballpark. Then you start to throw in things like, well, hey, Derek Jeter went out with a broken ankle. You had the multiple benchings of Alex Rodriguez, Nick Swisher, Curtis Granderson ultimately was benched. Sidekick, what in the world? The Yankees looked to me like the Boston Red Sox from last year.
I was just.
I mean, what a mess!
Game over.
What a mess! I mean, you gotta think that the Yankees are going to be addressed somehow or another. And in fact, the rumors are already that they are already shopping A-Rod to other teams currently. I mean,
Miami.
Even before the playoffs were finished, they're shopping A-Rod.
Yep.
I mean, what a mess, huh?
Yeah. I actually saw his tweet before the show when A-Rod was up. This is the last time you're going to see A-Rod at bat, and he's already wearing a Marlins uniform.
Let me ask you a question. Would you take him on your team over there with the Cardinals?
No. Not at all.
Because that was the question that was flying around here in Philadelphia, because we need a third baseman. So I don't know.
No, I don't like
Listen,
A-Rod.
the Yankees are willing to pick up 80% of the salary just to get rid of him. Huh? Oh, no, we might rethink it. All right. Okay.
I don't know. I still don't like A-Rod.
Well, son of a gun, there's the Tigers, and we're going to be talking about them next week as they go on to the World Series. Let's take a look over in the National League. Hey, your Cardinals, they won Game 1 up there in San Francisco, and I think that actually bodes well for them. They currently have a 2-1 lead in the series, and they're going into Game 4 tonight, this evening in St. Louis. Now, you got Game 4 and you got Game 5 in St. Louis.
Yep.
How you feeling about your Cards? Do they win the next 2? And do you finish it up or is this thing really going to? Is this going to go to 7? Are we going to have a series that goes to 7 games?
It's going to be 7.
Really, you think so?
We talked about it before the show. It's the Cardinal way. You know, the Cardinals find a way to get backed into a corner and fight out of it.
Yeah.
And you've seen it. You know, we saw it in the last series. I mean, we saw it last year.
Right.
All the Game 7, Game 5 heroics. And I think you're going to wind up seeing it again. I mean, we got Wainwright going on Waino going on the mound tonight. You know, I'm sorry, but I'm chalking this one up as a loss tonight.
Well, we were talking about it before. A 7.88 ERA in the postseason. Now, it's just the postseason, mind you. That's been his ERA.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd like to see him get a win tonight. I'd like to see him eliminate them and get it over with so that they can rest up before,
right.
The Tigers are now going to sit,
right.
Until next week. So.
But let's just say for a moment it is the Cardinals. I think I'd have to give the edge to the Cardinals in a World Series, don't you? All right, we'll get to that one.
Here's how I feel about the Cardinals. Everybody they've played, I think, they've been outclassed by. They've had better skilled players, and I
don't know about that with the Giants.
Well, the Giants. Maybe the Giants, but still, I think overall teams they've had to beat have been better teams.
Yeah.
The thing with the Cardinals,
I think the Cardinals are a better team in this one.
They refuse to lose. They refuse to die. They don't give up. They keep eking it out. You saw it in Game 5.
Yep.
They were down 6 runs.
Okay.
And they came back, and that's what Well,
I'm prepared to make. Listen, I'm prepared to make my prediction right now. Cardinals will win tonight, and I think the Cardinals win in Game 5. And I think you guys are done after Game 5. I really do. I do not think that the Giants are all that. All right? When you take, with the exception of Posey, take anything else out of there, yes, they've got pitching. Yes, they've got a bullpen, but they have absolutely nothing when it comes to offense at the plate. And frankly, I think your guys are going to win it in 5. That's where I think it's going to go.
I hope so.
All right. All right, there you have it. Listen, by next week, as I just said, we're going to be talking, we'll be going into, at this point, we'll be going into Game 2 of the World Series. So we'll know it all at that point, and we'll be talking World Series
and
action.
I'll make sure to be wearing my Cardinal stuff next week.
Yeah, I think you should be. And that would be appropriate at this particular time. Yes.
May have to bring the rally squirrel out.
Leave the rally squirrel at home, will you please? Yeah, just leave the damn thing at home. All right? All right, listen, let's go take a look at the NFL. My gosh, we're going into Week 7. How's that fantasy team of yours doing, huh? Okay, we won't talk about that one. All right?
Hey, can you say Yankees?
Yeah, there you go. All right. Listen, I think you're the underdog again going into this week, huh?
I am.
All right, listen, let's go talk about the real thing, though. Let's talk the real thing and some interesting matchups that we've chosen for this week.
Yep.
And we're going to start it off with the Arizona Cardinals, who are 4-2 at the Minnesota Vikings, who are similarly 4-2, and that's a 1 o'clock game on Sunday. Now, both of these teams are coming off of losses last week, and I don't know, I think many, I for one, have felt that both teams are frauds. Yes, you can have a drink. Unfortunately, this game isn't going to settle that because one of them has got to win, so one's still going to come out being a fraud. Second drink. The Cardinals have an issue.
For those keeping track at home.
The Cardinals, though.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I need a drink.
The Cardinals, though, do have an issue this coming week. No Kevin Cobb.
Yep.
All right. Who went out injured in their 19-16 loss to the Buffalo Bills. Enter John Skelton, and that's who it's going to be, probably under center for like the next number of weeks, from what I hear. So what are you going to do? Well, Larry Fitzgerald, right? Well, he's only going to be as effective as Skelton can get him the ball. Let's get that one straight. So if that doesn't work, I guess you go to a ground ball or a ground game.
Who?
Yeah, ground game? What? Kevin Cobb has been their ground game for the past number of weeks. Where are you going? Well, you're going to running back William Powell. Who?
I have on my team, yes.
There you
I
go.
need a running back.
All right. So, listen, let's take a look at the Minnesota Vikings. Well, Christian Ponder will no doubt be putting the ball in the air because that's what he does, and he does so well because that's all he knows how to do. He puts it in the air. He put it in the air 52 times last week.
Wow.
Why? Well, you got Adrian Peterson on the ground, but this isn't the same Adrian Peterson I think we've come to know over the past number of seasons. Listen, with a good improved, and I will give the Cardinals this, a good improved defense Expect Ponder to get intercepted once, twice, maybe thrice, maybe more. Who knows? The Cards may score their points. I'm going to tell you right now. The Cardinals may score their points on defense this week. Minnesota is a 6-point favorite. Does Ponder win or does the Arizona defense win?
Wow. I had some notes,
I just blew
Cobb
them.
in. Well, Cobb's out. Skelton's in. Fitzgerald's never won in Minnesota. So
For what that's worth.
And then, remember last year's matchup between them? 34-10. Vikings. Mm-hmm. I'm going with the Vikings.
Going with the Vikings. I'm going with the Vikings as well. I'll go with the second of the two fraud teams.
Drink.
Oh, there you go. There's a third one. Alrighty. Let's go take a look at game 2. Baltimore Ravens 5-1 at the Houston Texans, who are also 5-1. That's a 1 o'clock game on Sunday. Now, the Ravens last week eked out a 2-point win, 31-29 over the Dallas Cowboys. Big news, though, here, Sidekick, are the injuries on the defense.
Oh, yeah.
Injuries to Ray Lewis. Some are speculating it could be career-ending. Cornerback, Ladarius Webb. Then reports this afternoon, safety Ed Reed also has a shoulder injury. Now, of course, they're saying right now he probably won't miss any time. Add to that, they're still missing Terrell Suggs for at least the next couple of weeks.
Yep. Who's back practicing, but
not going to play. And still saying he's not going to play for, this is what I've read anyhow, for at least another couple of weeks. Question is, have the Ravens defense completely decimated? Are they decimated at this point? Joe Flacco and company are coming out on the other side against the Houston defense. And if that Houston defense manages to shut down Ray Rice and get a pick or two from Flacco, this could very possibly be a very long day for the Ravens. Add to that, the Texans are playing at home, and I'm sure they're not very happy about getting their first loss last week in the manhandled sort of way that they got from the Packers, 42-24. I guess the only question on the Texan side is it a Matt Schaub day or is it an Arian Foster day? Texans are favored by 6.5. Whose day is it?
Arian Foster day.
It's an Arian Foster
This
day.
is my bomb diggity bomb pick of the week.
Yup!
Now, and here's why I say it's an Arian Foster day. When the Ravens defense was healthy, they could barely stop the run. Now you've got all these injuries. Arian Foster is going to run over there all day. So I'm going to go with the Texans.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. And I'm going to say that the Baltimore Ravens are going to fight through what has been a difficult week in injuries. And I think that they've got a lot of pride. And I think that they're going to pull off the upset. I'm picking the Ravens.
Okay, you're killing me with this.
Let's go take a look at game number 3. That's the Washington Redskins, who are 3-3, at the New York Giants, who are 4-2, and that's a 1 o'clock game on Sunday. And this could either be an interesting interdivision matchup, or it could be a real yawner. And that's going to depend on which Redskins squad and RG3 shows up. Excuse me. The Redskins won rather convincingly over a questionable, as we just pointed out, Vikings team last week, 38-26. RG3 was 17 of 22 for 182 yards, 1 TD, and one interception, and a 92.7 QB rating. Here's the problem that I see. He was also the team's leading rusher, carrying the ball 13 times for 138 yards and 2 rushing TDs. RG3 accounted for 89% of the Redskins' offense. I don't know if that's such a great formula for success. Now, let's go take a look at the Giants real quick. They demolished the 49ers in San Francisco. And all right, I gave the 26-3. And listen, I'll give the Giants their win. It was another balanced attack, 192 in the air, 149 on the ground. But let's get it straight. 12 points came from Lawrence Tynes. On the leg of Lawrence Tynes on field goals, he was 4 or 5 on field goals. Giants are favored by 5.5. Is it the G-Men or is it the Redskins this week?
Well, kid, sorry, but I'm going with the G-Men.
Going with the
I
G-Men.
don't think RG3's got it. So, have fun, rookie.
I do not either. I think it is going to be the Giants. Take the Giants. Last but not least, let's go take a look at another interdivision rival, and that's the New York Jets, who are 3-3, at the New England Patriots, who are similarly 3-3. That's 4:25 on Sunday. And listen, let's take a look at the AFC East for a moment, because nobody there wants to be a leader. Every team in the entire division is 3-3. Jets are coming off a 35-9 whooping of the Indianapolis Colts. Mark Sanchez, he had a good day. He was 11 of 18 with 2 DDs and 109 QB rating. Reports are that the Jets are going to be using Tim Tebow in the running back position. Why? You got Sean Green. He carried the ball 32 times for 161 yards and 3 TDs last weekend. What in the world are you thinking of? The Patriots are coming off.
He hasn't done anything the rest of the season.
Really, the Patriots are coming off of a tough loss, 24-23, to the Seattle Seahawks, and they lost that game in the last minute 20. Tom Brady put the ball in the area a staggering 58 times, completing only 62% of those passes for 2 TDs. He was also intercepted twice. The typical Patriots offense, 395 yards in the air, 87 yards on the ground. Okay, now look, remember, it's an interdivision rival. The Patriots, we've seen it frequently before, do not play real well interdivision, all right? But nonetheless, the Patriots are a 10.5-point favorite in this game. Where do you see this one going? Line hasn't moved all week. 10.5. That's where it opened.
It's going to be simple.
Yep.
I'm going with the Patsies.
I think the line is way too high. I think the Jets... Listen, if you're going to bet the line, you got to bet the Jets. But I will pick the Patriots to win this game. They don't even know what they're doing when it comes to running back. Are you kidding me? This Jets team is just ridiculous. All right, there you have it. There's 4 games that we think are going to be of interest right here at the Frat House. We'll close it out with our usual shout-outs. Fan Junkies. Fan Junkies. Jonathan Regas, our buddy over there.
Yep.
Hey, get over there. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, we had the chat room was open again on Sunday. I was in there. It was got to get over there. Jump on that. Get in there. Have a lot of fun with that. And while you're at it, you got to be checking out Jonathan's and my Fan Junkies radio over on Blog Talk Radio Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And boy, we had a terrific show yesterday. We had Dan Highnote on, who is a former Colorado Avalanche and St. Louis Blues. And we were talking NHL lockout and that sort of thing. We're going to talk a little NHL lockout next week. I missed putting it into the schedule for this week. But get over there, check us out on Blog Talk Radio, Fan Junkies Radio. All right? FratHouseSports.net. Keep getting over there and checking that one out. All right? I got to get some new stuff up there, and we're going to. And I need a little help. If you can help us out in doing some writing, anything you want to do, I truly, truly appreciate that. But in the meantime, check us out, FratHouseSports.net. And finally, yes, I talked about them a couple of weeks now, the Sport Goonies. Very similar. Get over there. It's a Facebook page now. This is Facebook and Facebook only. So get over there. Check them out. It's a lot of fun. All right? A lot of fun, a lot of interaction. Got some very passionate fans over there talking sports all the time, just like we do right here. All right. All right, there you go. That's a fast-moving show.
Yep.
Hey, we're going to be back here next week. We got the Halloween show next week. All right? So, one more thing I need you to do. All right? You got to keep us real. You got to keep us live. Got to keep us going. See you next week.